Hello and welcome to latest updates from the farm. Today is 24th November 2024. The time is about 3:30. It's not very hot, slightly cloudy. I wish it rains again. Last week for 2 or 3 days it rained reasonably well and things are very green. So as you know, this is all cow fodder, maize, not cholam. As you see, things are coming out quite well. They are about 6 inches to 8 inches high right now. And in this section, my neighbor is also trying to cultivate. I think he's planning for tomatoes. The only issue is they'll be using a lot of urea and chemicals. So we need to do these wind breakers like Gliricidia, Agati, or any border crops. So we haven't done them yet. And now that the water is there, slowly we have to start developing. We also need to do a bund here so that the water doesn't come inside, washing all the chemicals from their farm. Because we are doing it in a natural way, it's important to keep ourselves not getting contaminated as much as possible. Last week we also did a small puja with the Purohit. We did the milk boiling and we've done some homa just as a Griha Pravesha. So now officially these are launched. Water is full. So we now are planning to get a lot of soil and level them here. We'll plan to do a bit of a ramp, but the idea is to ensure that there's not a lot of load on these top blocks. So it's important to add some soil here. So I have just arranged the usual tractor and the JCB for that work. So hopefully next time this will all be leveled. Here we've also completed the plumbing setup for the house and the labor shed. So we've connected the 1.25 inches CPVC pipes. It's the same width as the one that is going inside the borewell for pumping water. So as such, no pressure reduction here. There's also a flange here. The flange can be opened if required. I was hoping that they will do a few unions. That way it's easy to remove, but it's just not removable right now. We have to cut it and take in case of any changes we need to do. So there's one line that goes straight into the tank, another one that goes all the way to the back. Let me show you. By the way, this is the dried groundnut plants. This is cow fodder for the dry fodder for cow. And here the pipe has been buried and we have taken this 1.25 inches to both the cow shed and for the bathrooms. To be honest, I don't really like the way they have nailed the pipes. Ideally they should have given a bracket and if possible they must have drilled, but this setup is not great. I think they are not very tight, and also it's not properly nailed, so we'll have to fix them. This is a small tank to collect cow urine. Right now the urine is directly in the tank, but the idea is we will use a bucket, collect the cow urine, hopefully without any water contamination, and transfer them to a barrel here, and we'll use another barrel to prepare Jivamrita. And I'm just thinking a simple Venturi setup right now, but later I want to try and automate the Jivamritam preparation. There are some nice YouTube videos I've seen. For example, there's a video that shows a washer that mixes water, cow urine and cow dung from the cow shed directly to a tank, a mixing tank, and in that tank they're adding besan, jaggery and a bit of a soil to prepare Jivamrita. And from there they do a filtering and straight away use a motor centrifugal pump injector that injects the manure, the Jivamritam, right into the drip lines. So eventually we want to do that, but for now we'll use a very simple setup, try and get a Venturi once we finish the drip irrigation to prepare Jivamritam and distribute it to the farm. Let me show you the cows. Here we go. that is Tulsi, Gomati, Lakshmi and Sundari. I think they are settled now. And we have also bored the nose. The person who's taking care is pretty comfortable with poking the nose, and as you see the ropes are going through the nose. This is really the right way to tie a cow. Earlier we were using some sort of a mask type roping, but now I think it's proper, which is good. Electrical work is also done. We're all set as far as the houses are concerned. Bathrooms are ready. One is a western toilet for us to be able to use whenever we come here. Another one is an Indian toilet for the laborers who will stay here. We've also done 2 pipes here. I think these are 3-inch pipes for collecting the rainwater from the roof. There's one here and one more there, and we have just connected them to the tank here. There's a lot of rainwater that is getting collected in the roof. Just so that we don't waste them, we'll put them here. So plastering work needs to be done here, and we'll fill the soil and level it. In this section right now, once again, temporarily we are trying to make use of the land. So there's a lot of kuchikkalangu, that is tapioca, that is I'll show here. So I've taken these tapioca sticks and planted them here, and right now we are just doing flood irrigation. And over there, as you see, there's this Cofor sticks that are planted. We just got it from a neighboring farm. The idea is to just plant them in a 45-degree angle, very similar to what we did in Gattahalli and Hulimangala leased land. One of the knots should be at the top, another knot should be at the bottom in the soil, and they have to be planted at about 45 degrees. See them here. This is how it needs to be planted. At the moment we are still doing flood irrigation for this. Once we finish the drip irrigation network setup and get our plan for the sublines and laterals ready, then we'll have to redo these sections and set up the laterals and pipes and everything here again. But for now it's all just flood irrigation. So the plan that we have right now is something like this: house, cow shed, tank, place where we make Jivamrita. All that is zone 0. We intend to keep it very clean. That's where people will live. And then the next section is zone 1, where the plan right now is we will try and develop this section for vegetables, lettuce and some basic pulses. Also have some hopes for trying out paddy and wheat, but let's see how it goes. But the idea is this section in zone 1, roughly about 1 acre we are thinking, we'll primarily use it for home purposes. And then slightly outside of that will be zone 2 and zone 3 further ahead, zone 4 even further ahead, and finally zone 5. Zone 5 is basically just for wildlife, which we will just use it for observing the nature. But the order is like this: zone 0 is where we really live, zone 1 where we visit the places reasonably frequently, and then as we go towards zone 5, the frequency of visits will go down. So it's just some permaculture concept that I learned and I was trying to implement it here. So right now the 5.2 acres land, we have tried to separate it in different sections, each about 60 cents to 65 cents. That way there are about 9 subsections, and in each of these sections we'll have a sub line. I'll try and show a separate layout once we finalize the drip irrigation network, but the idea is we are dividing the entire farmland into 9 or 10 subsections, which obviously are part of zone 0 all the way to zone 5, which is at the end. And we have started harvesting the maize and horse gram, which we cultivated many months ago. They're all starting to dry up, and the plan is we'll remove them and maybe fully make them dry, use it as dry fodder. By then, hopefully, we'll have all of the new cow fodder growing up. I mean, I'm still thinking we should use as much as possible, like every bit of land for cow fodder right now mainly. That way there will be some sort of plant that will add some manure, and some diverse things will keep happening in the soil. And then once we start developing one zone at a time, one section at a time, then eventually we will convert these to the different ideas that we have in our mind right now. And finally, as you know, we had a lot of soil here, heaps were there. We had them thinking that wherever we had closed or buried the rocks, things will go down and sink a little bit. But thankfully there's no sinking right now, and we just leveled the soil completely here. And we have sowed watermelon. Once again, a random idea that came from the person who's taking care of this place. Watermelon is expected to grow well in this season. We still need to do some sort of an irrigation setup for this after the piping, but for now, right, it's just rain fed. But hopefully soon we can finish off the mainline network, bring sublines, and eventually connect some laterals, and later on we can convert them to zones and sections. But for the next 3 to 4 months, this will be dedicated for watermelon cultivation. I think this is about 40 to 50 cents, like half an acre. Alright, so those are the updates that I had today. Yeah, I think I forgot to mention, as you see, there are some railings at the top of the house and cow shed. I think it will be visible. So we've done them. We've also ordered a proper iron, not a ladder, kind of a staircase, lightweight. So far these railings were about 40 kg, 400 kg. Each kg is like 110 rupees for the grill work, including material, labor, transport is extra. So this costed me about 42,000, and the iron ladder should be about 300 kgs. I'll let you know once we get them here. So this iron setup is roughly expected to cost around 70 to 75k. As you see, there's also a Syntex tank there. It's about 1000 liters capacity. So civil work is literally done. The only pending thing is to do the flooring on the roof. Hopefully it will be done this week by Wednesday. And that should be it as far as the civil work is concerned. I'm still planning to do a bit of painting work. Not exactly painting, but we will rub the walls. Maybe try and fix the gaps and apply a waterproof treatment. But otherwise the civil work is all done, and now it's time to focus on the farm. Next steps to finish off that leveling work, and then we will have to decide the layout for the main lines. We have to install the main lines. I have to decide the pump. I'm still thinking whether we should do a 3 HP or a 5 HP centrifugal pump to pump water from the tank to the farm. Do the math on total liters per hour pumped versus the irrigation plan, like whether half an acre, 60 cents at a time, or 1 acre. All that we will get to know by experience, but trying to still do some math and make sure that we can maintain the pressure, we can maintain the power discharge. All that needs to be planned, so that will be the next step. Post that, we'll have to do the sublines, and then maybe start developing 1 acre at a time. Alright, that's all the updates I had today. I'll see you on a different video later. Bye bye.